This content is not intended to replace professional, medical, or counseling advice. If you are dealing with a physical or mental health issue, it is crucial to seek help from a qualified healthcare provider. Hello friends, and welcome back to Drone Machine. This is Brother Poe, and today we're going to talk about two things that I think are not only inevitable to our waking lives and growing and becoming better people, citizens of the world, as they say, but as we do grow and we do acknowledge that we are on a very, very, very short timeline before all this is over and taken away from us. So, as always, they called this portion the housekeeping, where we thank the people who make these things possible. So, I just want to thank everybody who's been listening to the podcast on Amazon Music, which you can download my podcast there. Also, Spotify and Apple Music and RSS.com, who hosts the podcast and creates the wonderful lines of code that allow me to put it out all over the world. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, then please enjoy. We shot another 2 hours of ambient type video, which is just, our candles burning. We're going to try some newer stuff in the coming weeks where we're actually going to put me maybe in front of this camera in order talking to you live for YouTube. We're just trying to figure out how that's going to work. After all, I am camera shy. I'm not stage shy. I will do any sort of live standing in front of people doing a mindfulness meditation, guided meditation, but there's something about cameras that really get me a little creeped out. Oh, I don't know if creeped out's the right word. I think I go back to that whole indigenous people of the United States, the American Indians, where they thought the camera was stealing their soul. Well, if that turns out to be true, just look at the internet today. We have AI has all those souls to work from. So, without further ado, let me thank my symbiotic brother, who is always doing a great job at creating ambient background sounds for me, Bound at the Wrist. Remember, you can always find his full-length albums for his body of work on Bandcamp under his title, Bound at the Wrist. He also has a YouTube channel. His video work is a little bit crazy, so just be prepared. Remember that just because somebody's an artist and you meet them in one spectrum doesn't mean that that's the only spectrum that they exist in. And that's kind of what our topic today is about, is the ability to be malleable and fluid as we grow, we change, and we take on new experiences. So, without further ado, I give you Drone Machine. Alright, so as always, we start with a very calming 60 beat per minute beat. Now, if you're going to enjoy this episode of Drone Machine, please remember to use headphones if it's possible. If not, try to get your speaker that you're listening through to a very quiet place so that all of the nuance that has been edited and programmed into this track can be fully heard and just really felt. Feel that beat. Lately, I've been wondering about growth and growing as an individual. So, when I look back on life and I look back to the 1980s and I think about the person I was then I fast forward a decade and I look at the person that I was in the 90s, and sure enough I'll fast forward again to the millennium and then into the teens, and now as we sit in the 20s, I can see that I have changed. And I have not changed willingly, and I don't think we ever change willingly. I think it's a matter of us having to accept the change. For most people, that change is basically the mirror. And we look at ourselves every day in the mirror, and we really don't see the decay of environment on us until we use a photograph, a captured memory of time, and we compare those two together. And that's where we get that visual change, and that's the most striking to us. As men, we try not to look in the mirror ever. We try not to be reminded of the inevitable, that we are getting older. We allow our bodies to kind of just guide us and tell us, hey, this hurts, don't do it. Or, hey, this isn't working like it once did, let's not do this anymore. And that is a great metric. That is a great component to life, to know that we are experiencing pain and discomfort, that we are experiencing a complete change of who we are, in that we are getting older. But then there becomes this fight, and it's in that fight that I feel we need to really face. We need to understand as individuals, as we're changing, that the change is okay. In that fight, we have to acknowledge that it really is happening inside us, that we don't want this to happen. We don't want to experience this difference from what yesterday was to what today is, and looking forward to what tomorrow, next week, and next year is going to bring. How are we going to be different then? And that's where our change really turns into ego. And ego, wow, ego is so powerful. I have been guilty of having a huge ego. And ego for me is the idealization of who I am built into my conscious mind and my subconscious mind. The ego is the person that existed in that mirror 30 years ago. My ego still thinks that I'm able to do those things that I did when I was 20 years old. My body still functions and moves in the exact same fashion that it did then. And when ego is met with reality, it becomes a fight. And that fight, wow, that fight is big, that fight is huge, and it's really hard to accept. And that's where I feel we are approaching that realization. And if we could get there and not fight the ego, if we could get there and just enjoy the change, enjoy the time, and enjoy what's happening, good or bad, because not all change is good, right? Some of us experience change in a way that is life-changing. To add a bit of humor there, it's not welcomed. It becomes really sad that we have to change like this. I would like to challenge all of us. I would like to pose a challenge that we decide on something that we want to change about ourselves. It can be something visual. It could be something internal. It could be something physical. And physical means that we learn to do something new. Internal means that we decide to not be crippled by our feelings, thoughts, and emotions, or that we not be crippled by a singular feeling, thought, or emotion. And external could be as simple as shaving off your mustache if you wear a mustache, cutting your beard off if you're a man, if you're a woman, dyeing your hair, maybe deciding to wear the color green instead of black all the time. Things like that can just change us and welcome that change. Personally, I have been really focusing on saying hello to strangers when I'm on a daily meditative walk, when I'm out there just trying to free myself from the stresses of the world. And when I say that, I have to actually laugh, because I've seen real stress and I've seen people that have really hard lives. And for me to think that mine is difficult or more difficult, of having to break out that ruler of comparison of who has it tougher or who has it worse, and it's just ridiculous. Maybe that's something that we should work on in a change, right? Maybe that's a really good place for all of us as a community or as a collective of humans, is to acknowledge that our little world is not and does not need to be measured against the rest of the world. That we don't have to have a measuring tool to see what's worse. And one, do we need to even understand who has it worse? I'm reminded of a lot of things that have happened in the last 10 years, and I'm reminded of a lot of things that have changed in society, and I look back on all that with happiness, actually. I look back on some of these major societal changes, and one, I want to laugh most of the time because it's pretty drastic, some of the things that have changed, some of the ways we help each other, don't help each other, some of the ways the world has become us against them, and that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother time, is us being us and them being them. But I look at that change, and I look at how we felt that we needed to advertise how we felt and feel to others. And that's not a bad thing. That's actually really important, because if we're going to build a community, do we build a community of like-minded people, or do we build a community of strangers and others who kind of feel or think the way we do, and do we bring them into our way of thinking? Yeah, it was really the last 10 years have been a very interesting time, and I think it's reflection like that can help us come to an individual change. I think it's a reflection on what has happened in our lifetime, and not incorporating the lifetime of generations past and how things have changed for them and where we were, but looking at where we are today and looking at where we were. Like I said, personally, my big thing that I'm working on changing, is saying hello to strangers. As I pass somebody, if I'm walking in a very isolated place or if I'm out in public, rather than my eyes and head being down or being distracted by whatever the shiny things that are being presented to me are, I'm looking around into people's eyes. I'm looking around at their faces. And when eye contact and the acknowledgement of their existence and my existence has been connected, I'm smiling. And it's interesting how many times I don't get a smile back. But what's really interesting is how many people do smile. And when those that do smile, I want to, and this is a personal thing right now, this is something that I want my smile to be as intoxicating as it possibly can. Not the type of smile that a creepy clown would have that was chasing you in the dark. There I am, using the word creepy again. Or a scary clown. But a smile of somebody who is filled with life, who has really decided to enjoy that moment, that time, or their moment in their time. And I want to be happy, and I want others to see that happiness. Now, like all happiness and emotions and things, it's not permanent. Sometimes your happiness just fades away into stress of those around you, people who are in control of your time that you have to sell it back to. But when it belongs to you, when that time is yours, we can make the choice on how we use it. For me, it's going to be making eye contact and smiling and saying hello. Waving at people as you pass them, if you're on a walk or if you're in an isolated place, goes a long way. And to get a wave back and to see them almost shocked into responding is interesting. So, as we come to the end of this little reflection, as that beat is still moving in the background, as this ambient drone is slowly changing to something more melodic, let's think about something we're going to change in our life. Let's think about something that's going to allow us to grow and push our ego as we grow into the background. Let's push that ego down and let's allow our conscious mind to say, no, I want to change this. I want to experience something different that I am in control of. And this is why I say we need to start small. We need to find a personal thing in life that we actually have control over. And the more hands that don't touch this in our lives, the easier it's going to be for us to change it and grow with it, and then look back on it as a moment that we changed, that we decided that we were in control, that we were going to wear this green shirt, that we were going to smile at strangers, or that we were just going to be more inviting. Whatever that turns out to be, just try something. Alright, so let's carry this beat. Let's get into that space where we are really thinking things through. Remember, no crazy breathing. We don't need to do any crazy breathing exercises or anything like that. Let's just let this beat feel it. Let's just let this beat take over. And let's just feel it. Alright, friends. Thank you for joining me today on Drone Machine. And let's carry this out into the ambience and just listen. Just listen. Feel the sound. Feel the melody. Feel that long, drawn out sound. Just listen. Just